Suhani Jalata is an activist who works to improve women's sanitary hygiene in India. She is the founder of the Mina Mahila Foundation. Her organization is also one of a handful of charities chosen to benefit from donations marking the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Now, she joins me now from Mumbai. Thank you so much for joining us here in the program. There is, pretty disturbing new research out from WaterAid and UNICEF that says about 1 in 3 girls in South Asia can't go to school during their periods. Why is this happening?
Yeah, so I think there's a whole bunch of different factors here where, women don't have access to these products. They don't even have knowledge to these products. There's a lot of stigma around it. There's lack of facilities and infrastructure at schools, which comes in terms of toilets. And we see often that girls are dropping out during puberty because they don't have access to the right products or the infrastructure. And there's this huge confusion and stigma around this, where they have little accurate information about what's happening to their bodies.
Yeah, and that's the problem. There's the lack of access to sanitary products. There's also the lack of education. And how much of that is due to stigma? I mean, for example, right now, you and I can talk openly about periods and about pads, but in many parts of the world, especially there in India, there is a social stigma there. What is the health cost to that stigma?
It's huge. So actually, one of the reasons why we've started MENA was when we noticed that women were kind of making this trade-off between dignity and health, often at the cost of health. So, a simple example is when a woman has to take a pill that constipates herself when she's on the way to a public toilet, just because she has to time when she's going to the toilet, because otherwise she finds it very challenging when men are counting the number of times that she's going to the toilet in a single day. It's a personal thing that happens. It's a natural phenomenon, but it actually becomes a societal thing that everybody then observes. And if you have to buy a packet of sanitary napkins today, you have to go to a chemist shop or a medical store, which is manned by men, male shopkeepers, and they're male bystanders, they're male customers. And there's this one woman there who's announcing that she wants a packet of pads, implying that she has her periods. So the male shopkeeper kind of doesn't even look at her straight. So I think it's that, that embarrassment that comes with that societal phenomena, which then ultimately makes it very difficult for the woman to get it in the first place. And if she doesn't get it, then she's compromising on her health outcomes. And we've seen UTI rates, rashes, bacterial vaginosis, and other infections at a huge, huge rise here. We can't fully attribute it to the lack of use of sanitary napkins here, but a lot of these hygiene factors are definitely linked to each other.
Tell us about your organization and what Mina Mahila is doing to address those issues.
Yeah, so Mina Mahila Foundation essentially was started in 2015 with the mission to empower women to speak about the things that they're most afraid to discuss aloud. And we really started this movement around menstrual hygiene first, because we feel that it is a very tangible way of tackling empowerment. So here we realized, working for a couple of years, I've been working here for about 5 years before, that in these communities, women's voices were very powerful, and they were powerful in their own rights, but they just were kind of invisible. And if women started to consider themselves to be more important, then slowly it would start conversations around domestic violence and sexual assault and menstrual hygiene, things that women were currently shying away from.
Thank you for joining us. Suhani Jalata joining me from Mumbai. Take care.